What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another deck profile here on the channel. And today we're going to be going over Shoto Todoroki 1 under a symbol, as you saw, is not very tested. We played in this this Sunday's PPG webcam event, the 16-man tournament. Ended up going 3-0 with Todoroki 1. This deck is so rad. If you like the decks that I play and you want to have them for yourselves, make sure you go and you check out unfunstuff.com. Use code TamCard at checkout to get 5% off your order. They should have everything that you need. And make sure you let them know Tam sent you. I mean, you'll do that with the code, but be nice, Chris. I love Chris. Chris is amazing. So with that, let's talk about the deck. So Todoroki 1 is traditionally a like a control character, and I wanted to not do that. I wanted to sling some moves. He gets perpetual damage based on the number of range attacks and you have in your discard pile, 1 for every 2, as well as his most powerful ability. The reason I like the character: response, commit, discard the top 3 cards of your deck, cancel a non-character enhance. So if my opponent is trying to push in for a game, or they're going to do a game-breaking thing, no, I don't think you are. Being able to stop one thing per turn cycle, mine and your turns, is insane. What a crazy thing to do. And not to mention, whenever you get to turn 5, turn 6, which we do get to, we're a 7-hand size defensive character, like we've got disruption on our face. Every one of our moves swings for, half of their health. As a 7-hand size character, I draw 4 attacks. I'm going to kill them. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the choices that we made inside of the deck. So the first thing I want to talk about, normally I have my stuff broken into aggro flow disruption, aggro defense flow disruption. We didn't do that. We have no aggro attacks. We're only playing flow because our character really takes care of the aggro themselves. So the first move I want to talk about is Frigid Heat Wave. It makes me from a 7-hander to a 9-hander. It's incredibly fast. It starts at 5 base speed, and so Todoroki just makes it way faster, and it can accidentally get big. It's the closest thing I have to an aggro card, just because it can accidentally get that extra +6. So it could be a 5 high for 10, just accidentally, not to mention whatever Todoroki's got going on. The main reason we play this card, it lets us draw 2 cards. We want to play one of these every single turn after turn 3, just to be a 9-hand size character, build out these big, huge stages, block exceptionally well, and then keep slinging huge attacks. Up next, we've got Giant Ice Wall as a wall breaker. In hand, stun 2. You can discard momentum, which we don't really give momentum. This deck's actually way more about OTKing than anything else. We want to play as many moves as possible, and it's on the low zone. It's a great opener. It's wonderful, but not the best opener in the deck, because the best opener of the deck has to be Crow and Frog Takedown. This card has the range keyword. It's pretty good. If we want to be aggressive and we just roll 5s, Crow and Frog Takedown is the way to do it. Being able to make this card not count towards progressive difficulty, meaning that we don't have to commit bonus resources, means at the end of our string we commit bonuses, is really good. It also, as long as you don't use the enhance on your character, says that you do not telegraph if this is a poke turn or a kill turn. And so it's possible your opponent just won't interact with like the first 2 Crow and Frogs that you play, and then you build 2 paths, you hold 3 foundations, and you got 10 damage to sneak in, probably more based on the foundations that we have. And so this card feels exceptionally good. Kind of in the same vein, we're playing 4 Nitro Explosion Ignition. The main reason to play this card, honestly, is that it gets rid of itself out of the card pool. It's a 5 high, which feels really good whenever we give things a bunch of stats, as well as if you draw 2 of them, you get to just steal a momentum for free. The most expensive card of the deck by far, I'm sure. It's either that or plus ultra. But this card is really worth it if you want to play the fire symbol with Todoroki. Man, it's 5 high. It's 5 high for 4. It'd be 5 high for like 8 on turn 4. It's good. It's crazy. Up next, flow-wise, we've got double massive flash freeze. Once again, another 5-speed move. This card feels really good. It's a 1 mid block. It doesn't do any damage early. This is a late game card. It's either a block or it's a late game kill card. As well as the +1 to your check means that I get to string out bigger combos. It gets to be Nitro Explosion once. It gets to be Crow and Frog Takedown once, and which might just be enough to win the game because of the fun tricks that we have. In addition to that, we're playing double half-hot ignition. This card is honestly in here for the Breaker 1 ability. I have to have a lot of Breaker in my deck. We missed it with Giant Ice Wall. It also has Breaker. But I need Breaker in my deck so that I can have my opponent stop attacking me, because I'm really good on my turn. I want to turn one thing of theirs off and then have them stop doing stuff. This is really important to make sure that I can take that initiative. And then the last attack that we're playing for Ice Storm. This card is a fantastic kill card. Normally what happens is early in your turns, people block with foundations because they want to hold their attack cards to backswing you to, I've only got 20 health, please hit me back. But this card says that it cannot be blocked by attack cards, and then you give it, I don't know, plus 7 damage off of your character. Not to mention some of the other tricks that we have. This thing just bops him, as well as our main aggro deadlock threat. I won my last game of the night because I stunned my opponent and he built 3 foundations off of 3 it can't be fixed, and then I gave this +2 speed, and then there's nothing they could do about it. I don't think there was anything they could do about it before, but this was my plan, my strategy. And with that, man, that's a lot of attacks, huh? That's because we're actually playing like a 78 card deck. I need to have a very thick discard pile so that at the end of the game, all of my attacks are doing an absolute massive amount of damage, and I can't do that if I've got 50 cards. I just can't. There's not enough deck left because of how much milling I'm going through. I am cycling just slightly behind on average, and so I'll show you what that looks like. Action-wise, we're playing for Sugar Rush. The main reason to play the deck under fire, because of how quickly we are discarding cards into our discard pile, we're going to have 10 foundations. Don't touch the range cards. Remove them, +2/+4, in addition to committing for the extra stats off of Todoroki. There was 2 games inside the day that I double drew Sugar Rush, and was just like, well, there's nothing you can do about it because this is +4/+8, and then another +7 off of Todoroki. I'll just kill you from full. This card is fantastic. Don't cycle though, because if you cycle, you're losing so many cards. But not that many cards, right? We're playing a 70 card deck, or almost an 80 card deck, and so getting rid of 10, 20 means I'm actually playing like a regular standard size deck. So the issue is you're gonna be very attack clogged because we're moving a lot of foundations. In addition to Sugar Rush power up, or the other big 4 actions that we're playing for aggro turns, is Go for the Win. Go for the Win's a 1 low block in opposite of Sugar Rush's 1 high block. The big thing about this card is it says that I get to extend really early, and it lets me use a lot of my resources. So Todoroki's ability to commit a foundation feels really bad. Go for the Win replaces it. And so as long as I'm late enough in the game, my opponent's trying to play this really tight defense, so they build out these big long stages. My deck's really good at cracking walls, like that's the fire symbol's just good at breaking it. And so this card feels really good, as well as it's got a little bit of synergy with the response. I mean, my character only gives damage, right? So if I can sneak in a little speed, make something a little unblockable, give a little bunch of damage, and then there are ways to discard this card from our card pool so it does not add to our progressive difficulty. So this card feels very good. And then our last action in the deck is we're playing Double Plus Ultra number 1, giving things doubling things speed, and then giving a +7 damage feels wonderful. As well as, you know, I'm a 7 hand size 20 health character, and mid attacks are really nuts right now. They're very, very good. So Plus Ultras should be in everybody's deck. If I was playing a sideboard, I would definitely have 2 more in here just to be safe. Onto our foundations. I always break my foundations down in aggro, defense, flow, disruption, and so let's talk about the aggro foundations first. The very first and best foundation, it's one of the best foundations in my deck, is Revel at his masterpiece. Discard the top card of your deck. Your deck gets +1 damage. It means that you don't have to commit a foundation to be getting more than stats on all of your moves, as well as, and it is relevant whenever you have 10 or less cards in your deck, you can remove this one from the game and draw 2 bonus. Count your attacks. If you notice, we're playing a lot of them, and so you should know how many we're playing. I'm pretty sure we're playing 24 attacks. I say you should know, and then I say I believe. I believe we're playing 24 attacks. And so Revel says that I get to count. Oh, the last 2 cards in my deck are attack cards. Well, I'm not gonna get the bonus off of this anymore, so I'll just draw and not check my 2 3s. I did it. This card is amazing, and in the exact opposite end of the scale, we've got Double Nervous Habit. Honestly, the card I probably should have pushed it up to a 3 of, but I don't know. I just couldn't find space for that 80th card, you know? And so this card, pay a health for +1 speed feels really, really good. It helps me break those walls. There was one game that I actually got both out, which is crazy in my 80 card deck, but it says that like I just kind of auto win because I had like 1 Revel and then 2 of these out, not to mention Todoroki. This is filling my discard pile. It was just wonderful. It was so good. And then the next aggro card we're playing is triple or excuse me, for Frozen. Frozen is Frozen is after I have committed a card with Todoroki, I then get to destroy that card and make them commit a foundation. It's the best tool for 1, getting us out of deadlock, and 2, getting us underneath our opponents in foundation counts to make sure that Go for the Win is live. Feels great. Feels very, very good. It has to be a 4 of in this aggro style Todoroki deck. You got to break those walls. On to the defense. We're playing 4 defrosting. Not only is this putting cards into our discard pile on our opponent's turn, which is not a thing we normally get to do, but is also saying that things either get slow so that I can block them, or more importantly, they get fast so I don't take as much damage. This card is very clutch in a deck like this, and because I'm not running any 2 checks, I get to safely build them on turn 1. There was one turn that I went first, opened up to 2 of these, and went to Frosting. I didn't even check the 3, so I didn't have to commit my character, and so like I've got either -2 damage or -2 speed, and discard the top 2 cards of my deck. And the added bonuses is this can be used offensively so well. You can use the enhance on defrosting to give your move +2 speed, and then just commit it for +X damage off of Todoroki. Rad. If I'm going for the kill turn, minusing my 1 damage is not going to matter when I give it +6. Right? Up next, we're playing 4 Heroic Lineage as defense. After they get a damage bonus, they get -speed. Guys, the tactic with this card is actually not fair. You get this under 2 symbols, both fire and order. It makes me really rethink how good defrosting is. If I have both of these cards on the board at the same time, I auto block 1 move. I just block it for free because I give something +1 damage. No, excuse me, plus damage, but -5 speed, all at a discard the top card of my deck and commit cost. What an insane exchange rate. 1 of your moves, not touching me. I probably could have put this in flow, but this card technically has a defensive ability on it. The main reason we're playing in danger, honestly, it's a 0 def. The fire symbol is really, really bad with spams. They're really not good. And so this card just says that I get to actually play some really good... I get to play an okay string on my turn 1. By building out as much as I can. But it's a 0/5. Great. 3 mid block. Terrible. Destroy for -3 speed. Only if your move's going to kill me. Awful. Awful. Just awful. This card always gets committed first for Todoroki unless I've got like a face down or something. It always gets blown up for Frozen. Card is not good, but I have to have it. And then next, what I think is the best card, and honestly the reason that the deck is even together at all, and that is for Encouragement. Response flip after your unblocked attack is after your unblocked attack resolves, discard it from the card pool. So what I can do is I play a move that's not Crow and Frog, unless I have to count the numbers. Make sure you do your good math. It hits them because they did not block, because they could not block my 5 speed move. They didn't have the resources to do it. I will they'll take their damage. I'll respond with Encouragement. I'll discard the card from my card pool, and I'll have a face down for on my next move. I can commit and give my move plus damage. This card is the reason to play the deck. There was one game that I got all 4 of them out. You probably don't need all 4. I actually think that 3 is probably the right number, and you can have a little spice, either cut the deck down to be a little more aggressive, or put in some more options, especially as set 3 is coming out. But Encouragement makes the deck. It is so good. In addition to that, we've also got League Interview. This card turbos our discard pile exceptionally fast. First form, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. When I go to play an attack, you get to check. It's the first attack, I get +1 on my check. Card's rad. There was plenty of times that I would take and I would play the first form on League Interview, build 4 pass, and look at my opponent and be like, hey, sorry about it. I discard an extra ranged. Well, man, next turn, I'm going to have even more damage on you. And so this card feels good. Never even had to use the response, but the response flip, this card counting as 2 cards on block. People are playing double high value target exclusively for that. We get to only do it once as opposed to they get to do it every single time, but like it's just enough to keep it clutch. Next flow card, we've got 4 latent skill. I'm trying to kill people, and so I want to make sure I can draw my attack cards. Never, ever, ever, unless you actually have like 7 attacks in your hand, would you ever discard cards. But this card sometimes does say discard 2 range cards, giving my moves +1 damage. And is a face down, so I can commit it for Todoroki and not feel bad even in the slightest. Up next, we're playing 4 Forcing Surrender. So the active play with this card is really the fact that we get to discard the Go for the Win with it. There are no combos to speak of inside of the deck. The counterplay, the reason this is a disruption card, is this card says that what does this card say? This card says the Mineta doesn't work. This card says that create capture net. They have to build. They can't stun me. This card says that when they face shield me, I just get to discard the card from my card pool, which is perfect. Please face shield me. I'm down. I'll discard the card, have a bonus range card in my discard pile, and then keep swinging. Rad. This card's just too good not to play. You could probably get away with 3 of it and sideboard the 4th, but for these videos, I just don't make sideboards. And I like the card to the 4 of because, like, you never know who's playing Mineta out there. Up next, Disruption. We're playing 4 Irrefutable. This is pretty much only used to disrupt my opponent's attacking turn. Very rarely do I want to commit a card in order to stop a thing my opponent's doing. Normally the cards that I have to do that for, I remove instead. Like today, in today's event, I removed a Night Watch, and so that was good and important, and I had to get rid of that card. And so there it is. And the last card that we're playing is for Keen Observation. I put this card at the back because it is blank. This is not a card in our deck. We actually have no burn damage. It is possible that we could play something along the lines of Cinder Conviction to get a little bit of burn, but I'm actually afraid of the burn 2 at us. There were plenty of times that I would end the game today at like 3 health, and if I ended at 1 health where I played double Conviction, I lost. And so this card's just a 0/5 too high. Does not have a spot. It's just in here for stats because once again the choices for 0 diffs are really bad. The reason I'm playing this card and not the Stronger in Darkness is strictly because it's a 2 high block and not a 3 high block, and I never want to commit my face on my turn unless I'm guaranteed killing you. I had somebody flip the not rigorous training. It is the Ochako card that's flip pusher speed to 4. I can't remember the card. Training part or something like that? I'm not positive. But they did that, and so I just like canceled and then like double sugar rushed them, and they were like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, you weren't gonna." Nah, sorry about it. Yeah, it was good stuff. But this card's just blank. All in all, I think this is deck's like a 3 out of 5. I think it is a fun deck. It's one of the most fun decks you'll ever take to locals. I don't see it being very competitive, not in its current form. I do think in a couple sets though, something like this, as long as like fire gets a relevant spam, I think is going to be a pretty okay choice to take to larger events. I just gotta get, like, I've got 8 essentially blank cards in my deck with Keen Observation and In Danger. So like as soon as I start to shore that up, it's gone. Not to mention I got a lot of 4-ofs. If I could take those 4-ofs and make them 3-ofs and add in more options for aggro defense flow disruption, maybe he does something. But all in all, I love this deck. I think this is one of the most fun decks that I've ever played in set 2. I would be totally chill bringing this to something like Orlando to play casually or locally. Yeah, once again, I think like a 3 out of 5. I would try this deck. It's fun. It's incredibly fun, especially if you like off the wall 7-hand size characters that have a negate on their face. Super good. So with that said, if you like the deck and you like the things that are in it, make sure you do go check out unfunstuff.com. Use the code TamCard. There'll be a link in the description down below for that. And let me know how you feel about Fire Todoroki. Let me know if there's anything that I missed or I could do to change the deck. Let's have a conversation in either the YouTube chat or over on my Discord, which you're gonna find another link in the description. So with that, thank you much for watching, you guys. I appreciate it as always, and I wish you well.